Factor. There's dog food in your kitchen right now. Maybe it's a bag in the pantry. Maybe it's a can in the cupboard. And tonight your dog will eat whatever you pour, because that's the deal. That's the trust. So here's something you deserve to know. Days ago on July 2nd, cans of one of the biggest dog food brands in America started quietly coming off shelves. Metal and plastic inside the food, and that brand is only number 6 on the list you're about to see. This isn't internet rumor. Every brand in this video has federal paperwork attached to its name. Open FDA, do not feed advisories, federal warning letters, recalls posted on the FDA's own website. Within the last 2 years, some of these companies pulled their products, others looked at the FDA's lab results and kept selling. If you've ever suspected that somebody somewhere is supposed to be checking what goes into that bowl, you're right. And tonight you're gonna see exactly what happens when they do. We pulled the FDA's recall database current as of this month. We read the federal warning letters, line by line. We went through CDC outbreak files, court dockets, and the corporate filings that show who actually owns the names on your shelf. We found things most dog owners have never been told. And let's be clear, before we start, we're not here to scare you away from feeding your dog. Every dog in America has to eat. And panic doesn't fill a bowl. We're here because your dog can't read a label, can't check a recall list, and can't choose a different bag. You do all of that for them. This video is about doing it with your eyes open, so stay to the end because that's where the good news lives. The 2 brands that actually pass the test veterinary nutritionists use. One of them costs about $2 a pound, plus a 30-second checklist that protects your dog from every list like this one, forever. Don't skip ahead, because the number 1 brand on this list is connected to a 4-year-old child in a hospital bed. And when the FDA asked the company to recall the food, the company said no. One thing first, because the whole video makes more sense once you know it. Nobody approves dog food before it goes on sale. Nobody. The FDA has no pre-market approval for pet food. AAFCO, the organization whose name is printed on your bag, says on its own website that it does not regulate, test, approve, or certify pet foods in any way. Those are their words, not ours. And recalls, almost every single one is voluntary. Remember, that word is going to come back. Number 6, Pedigree. The yellow bag, one of the best-selling dog food brands in America. The brand your parents probably fed their dog. It's sitting in millions of American homes right now. Which is exactly why what happened on July 2nd should have been front-page news and wasn't. July 2020, 6 days before we recorded this, Mars pulled 2 lots of Pedigree high-protein wet food off the market. The reason on the official notice, metal and plastic in the food. And it's the second time in 2 years. May 2024, 315 bags of Pedigree dry food recalled for loose metal fragments, but the new recall carries a detail we have never seen on a recall notice. Mars says the product appears to have been, quote, fraudulently diverted. The company is working with authorities to figure out how its own cans even reached the shelves. Read that again. The manufacturer does not know how its product got to the store where you bought it. And who is Mars? The candy company. Snickers, M&Ms, Skittles, that Mars. It is also the largest provider of veterinary care in the United States, Banfield, VCA, Blue Pearl. About 3,000 clinics and hospitals worldwide. The company that makes the food owns the places that check your dog after the food. Hold that thought, it comes back at the end. Because at least Mars pulled the cans. The next brand on this list got a federal warning letter after 7 people got salmonella. 6 of them were babies. Number 5, Victor. If you live anywhere rural, you know Victor, the super premium bag from Texas, the brand of hunting dogs and working dogs sold in feed stores and farm stores across the country. Feels like a family company. It's owned by a private equity firm, TA Associates, with an investment fund co-founded by NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers on the ownership stack. And in 2023, Victor's plant in Mount Pleasant, Texas became the center of a CDC outbreak investigation. Here's the timeline. September 2023, 1 lot of Victor High Pro Plus is recalled after a state lab finds salmonella. October, more lots. November 9th, everything, every product, every brand from that plant. Victor, Eagle Mountain, Wayne Feeds, even Sam's Club's members Mark. By then, the CDC had counted 7 people infected across 7 states. 6 of the 7 were babies, 1-year-old or younger. Babies don't eat kibble. They crawl on the kitchen floor where the bowl sits and they put their hands in their mouths. That's all it takes. The outbreak was declared over. In January 2024, the federal warning letter came that November. And it's worse than the outbreak. FDA inspectors swabbed the plant. Salmonella in 40 out of 100 environmental swabs. Not 1 strain, 3 resident strains, meaning the bacteria didn't visit the plant, it lived there. 17 finished lots tested positive, 10 of them after the company's deep cleaning. The company told the FDA its safety program was effective. The FDA's written answer, salmonella, quote, continued to persist in your facility. Victor at least recalled everything. The next company told the FDA no. Number 4 answers pet food, a raw fermented holistic brand out of Pennsylvania, the kind with a farm story on the label. September 2024, the FDA warns the public, do not feed certain answers dog food. All 4 sampled lots came back positive for salmonella and some for Listeria monocytogenes. The FDA recommended a recall. the company issued a limited withdrawal instead. So in June 2025, the FDA put it in writing, a federal warning letter. The products are, quote, adulterated listeria on 7 different surfaces inside the plant, including zones that touch food, and the strain on the equipment was a DNA match to the strain in the finished product. The company's response? It disputes the FDA publicly. Its own food safety paperwork calls the product biologically appropriate. The federal government calls it adulterated. Both of those sentences are real. Only one of them is on the label. Now, everything so far is one company, one plant, one failure at a time. What comes next is different because there is an FDA investigation that names 16 of the biggest dog food brands in the store, and you've probably never heard how it ended. That's because it never did. July 2018, the FDA announces it is investigating a spike in canine dilated cardiomyopathy, DCM, a disease where the heart muscle weakens, stretches, and fails, in dogs eating certain diets, and not the junk brands, the expensive ones. Grain-free formulas built on peas and lentils, the bags with wolves on them, the ones marketed as everything nature intended. June 27, 2019, the FDA does something it had never done before. It publishes the brand names. The 16 brands most frequently named in DCM reports. Akana, 67 cases. Signature, 64. Taste of the Wild, 53. 4Health, Earthborn Holistic. Blue Buffalo, from Merrick, Nutro, Rachel Ray, Nutrish. In the reports counted by mid-2019, 560 sick dog, 119 dead, and the reports kept coming, 1,382 by late 2022, and then nothing. December 2022, the FDA announces it will stop giving public updates, quote, until there is meaningful new scientific information to share. 7 years into the investigation, the agency still can't say whether the diets caused the disease, and it has never said they didn't. No cause established, no action taken, no all clear given, and no closure. The investigation was never closed. The page is still up today, frozen in 2019 like a case file on a desk nobody sits at anymore. One more detail from while that file sat open, February 2023. Mars, yes, the candy company again, bought Champion Pet Foods, the single most reported brand in an unresolved federal heart disease investigation, now belongs to the same conglomerate that owns the vet clinics. And across the aisle, the grain-free giants quietly rolled out new healthy grains lines. No press conference, no explanation, just new bags on the same shelf. In a minute, the 3 brands the FDA is actively telling people not to feed, including the one tied to that child in the hospital. Before we get there, take 1 second to subscribe and hit like. Not for us. It pushes this investigation to the dog owners who have these exact bags in their kitchens and no idea any of this exists. Let's keep going. Number 3, Blue Ridge Beef, raw frozen food out of Georgia, sold across the eastern United States. Puppy mix for dogs, kitten mix for cats. One recall can be an accident. Here is Blue Ridge Beef's last 15 months. January 2024 recall. December 2024 recall. January 2025 recall. 1,350 pounds of kitten mix. Salmonella. February 2025. Recall 5,700 pounds of natural mix. April 2025. Puppy mix and kitten mix, salmonella and listeria after a customer's animal actually got sick. 5 FDA posted recalls in 15 months. And it's not the company's first pattern. Its earlier recalls back in 2023 were tied to kitten deaths, one of them confirmed by lab testing as Salmonella septicemia. A recall is supposed to be a lesson. At this point, it looks more like a routine, but at least Blue Ridge Beef keeps filing the paperwork. The next 2 companies stopped doing even that. Number 2, Raw Energy, a raw dog food brand out of New Jersey. January 23, 2026, the FDA issues a formal advisory, do not feed 8 lots of this food. The lab results read like a microbiology syllabus. Listeria monocytogenes, Salmonella, Campylobacter jejuni, 3 different pathogens, 1 product line. The FDA recommended a recall. Standard procedure, the company pulls the food, everyone moves on, the company didn't. February 6, 2026, the FDA updates the advisory, still no adequate recall. May 22, 2026, 4 months in, with more consumer reports of sick animals on file. The FDA's page says it in black and white. Quote, to date, the firm has not initiated an adequate recall. The company finally posted its own recall that same day, covering more than 60 varieties. 4 months, that's not a recall. That's a standoff. And as you're about to see, the FDA brings paperwork to a standoff. The number 1 brand turned this exact playbook into a business model. And this time, a child ended up in the hospital. Number 1, Darwin's Natural Pet Products, raw dog and cat food, shipped frozen to your door on subscription, marketed as vet-designed natural nutrition. Here is Darwin's relationship with the federal government. Reactor. FDA advisory, 2022, do not feed salmonella, 3 sick kittens. The company declined to recall. FDA advisory, September 2024, salmonella and listeria in 6 lots, declined again. And the FDA wrote in public that the firm, quote, could continue to distribute them. July 2025, another advisory. September 2025, another one. And this time, the FDA noted the company's letter to its own customers left out the salmonella. 4 advisories, 0 recalls. Now that July 2025 advisory read it slowly. In August 2024, a 4-year-old child was infected with E. coli 0157 H7 and developed hemolytic uremic syndrome. HUS, a complication that attacks the kidneys. The child was hospitalized. The FDA sequenced the E. coli in a sealed bag of Darwin's beef dog food, sealed straight from the supply chain, and it was a genetic match to the E. coli in that child. The dog food never touched the child's plate. It didn't have to. It was in the house. A 4-year-old, a kidney-attacking infection, a genetic match. And the company still did not recall the food. How is that legal? Here's the part of this video that should genuinely bother you. The FDA cannot simply force a pet food recall. Its mandatory recall power for food has been used exactly once in American history, once in 2018 against a kratom supplement maker. It has never been used on pet food, never. Every recall you have ever heard of was a company choosing to cooperate. Darwin's chooses not to. And the machine that's supposed to outstubborn these companies, it's getting smaller. October 1st, 2024, the FDA let its 17-year agreement with AFCO, the system for reviewing what's even allowed in the bag, expire. April 2025, more than 130 staff cut from the FDA's Center for Veterinary Medicine, including senior veterinarians running the bird flu response. In the same year, bird flu was showing up in raw pet food, 17 pet food recalls in 2024 alone. A $65 billion industry, and the referees leaving the field. So let's say the quiet part out loud. Your dog cannot read a label. Your dog cannot check a recall list. Your dog eats what you pour every single day for its entire life. And a baby crawling past that bowl trusts your kitchen exactly the same way. The system will not do this for you. You just watched it ask nicely in writing 4 times. But you can do it yourself in about 30 seconds per bag. Here's how. And here are the 2 brands that already passed the test. Veterinary nutritionists, the board certified kind, and there are only about 100 of them in America. Judge a dog food company with 4 questions. 1. Does it employ a full-time board certified nutritionist? 2. Who actually formulates the recipes? 3. Does it run real feeding trials on the label? That's the phrase, animal feeding tests. 4. Does it own its plants and test every batch? Notice what's not on the list, the ingredient story on the front of the bag. Tufts Veterinary School says it flat out. The ingredient list is one of the most useless parts of the label. These questions measure infrastructure, and infrastructure is exactly what you watched fail for the last 20 minutes. First pick, Purina Pro Plan. And yes, we can hear you through the screen. That's Nestlé, the boring mega corporation. That is the uncomfortable punchline of this entire video. The test rewards boring. 500 plus vets, nutritionists and scientists on staff. 100% company-owned plants. 99% of what it sells in America made in them, with on-site testing lab, and a record that held under pressure. When something went wrong, one prescription formula, February 2023, it was pulled within days. After 2 confirmed cases, both dogs recovered. About $2.13 a pound, roughly $1.50 a day for a 50-pound dog. And here's the real reason we trust that record. It survived a genuine FDA investigation. In 2024, a viral Facebook panic blamed ProPlan for sick pets. About 1,300 reports flooded the FDA. So the FDA did what the FDA does when it actually investigates. Tested open bags, tested sealed bags from stores, inspected the plant in Clinton, Iowa. Its written conclusion, the evidence, quote, does not identify a public health concern. That is what it looks like when a brand goes under the microscope and comes out clean. Every brand earlier in this video went under the same microscope. They didn't. Second pick for a different budget, the Farmer's Dog fresh food delivered, and the strongest paper trail of the new generation. 5 board-certified nutritionists on staff. 4 of those 100 in the entire country worked there. Its own kitchen, human-grade ingredients, and 0 recalls in 12 years of operation checked against the FDA database this month. Now the honest part, because their ads won't say it. Starting at $1 a day is the marketing floor. For a 50-pound dog plan on $7 to $8 a day. If that's not your budget, Pro Plan wins on evidence per dollar. If it is, this is the cleanest record we found anywhere. Whatever you feed, do these 3 things. Tonight, put your brand's name into the FDA's recall page, fda.gov, animal and veterinary, recalls and withdrawals. 30 seconds and you'll know more than most owners in this country. On the label, a named meat, an AFCO statement with the words animal feeding tests, and an answer to the question who owns this brand. If the bag can't pass, the bag goes back on the shelf. And if your dog ever gets sick and you suspect the food, do not throw the bag away. Keep it, photograph the lot number, it's printed right next to the best by date. Save your vet's records and file a report at the FDA's safety reporting portal. That's not bureaucracy, Consumer reports are how every investigation in this video started. 2 more rules while we're here. Switch foods gradually over 7 to 10 days and keep treats under 10% of daily calories. That's the Tufts number, not ours. Step back and look at the whole board. 6 brands with federal paper on the table right now. A heart disease investigation naming 16 more, open since 2018, silent since 2022. An agency that lost its ingredient review partnership and more than 130 staff. And behind the shelf, 2 corporations, a candy maker and the world's biggest food company, collecting somewhere between 40 and 50 cents of every pet food dollar on earth. The pet aisle looks like choice. It's a hall of mirrors with a recall page. And we haven't even opened the most expensive door in the store. The prescription diets sold from behind the vet's counter. No drug inside, no FDA approval, prescription pricing anyway. And a lawsuit about exactly that is headed toward trial right now. In 2026, we're digging into it, and what we've found so far genuinely surprised us. If you missed our investigation into the treat aisle, that one's already on the channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications so the prescription diet investigation reaches you the moment it drops. And share this video with one dog owner, not for us, because somewhere in your contacts is a person with one of these 6 brands in their kitchen right now. And 20 minutes ago, you were them. This is Pet Food Insider, where the label gets read so your dog doesn't pay the price. Stay informed, stay skeptical, and before you fill that bowl tonight, check the bag. Thanks for watching.